What is up, guys? As always, this is seems to be our weekly edition of Should You Roll. Now, actually, we haven't done the last 2 weeks because we've had those crappy reroll banners that, if you've seen previous videos, you know I'm not a fan of. And I won't try to do the whole comedy bit with this one because I tried that earlier this week and you guys did not like that at all. But there's still a lot to talk about here. As much as I don't like all that's going on up here, I think that I'm definitely going to be rolling for her, and I think she's probably the strongest unit in the game right now. So let's go ahead and look at her skills real quick, and we can break down what all of this means. So they've added a few things to her. So I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember if she has this buff and debuff, because all I remembered about her was that she was useless and that she had damage over time, which was completely irrelevant for the first half of the game with the Dragon Blood meta. So we have a buff and a debuff. Increases attack speed of all allies on the same row as itself by 20 for 7 turns, which is pretty significant, guys. 20 is a large percentage. For most people, it's above 10%. For a lot of people, it's above 20%. So getting that attack speed buff is really good, especially on your slower characters, and even more so when the debuff on the other team is decreases attack of all targets by 40% for 7 turns. And why that's so good is because other than her auto attack, Homegirl does not do anything but auto AoE damage. So you're applying this debuff to everybody for 7 turns. Pretty significant, because that just means that there's 3 potential turns in which she is not putting this debuff on people. And because she's boosting the speed, you could potentially modify it in a way to where she could be going more often and get it down to maybe there's 2 or 1 turns where this is happening. I don't think you could get it all the way up to this is up constantly, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can Leppen her and she could get another skill off, but we'll see. The next huge thing, which seems to be part of this set, we don't know if this Superstar and the fan meeting are both part of all of this line of the K-pop synergy, because she's the first and she's a gold, so it's pretty interesting. But Superstar afflicts the attention mark for 7 turns to the target when the skill hits, increasing all damage over time on the target with attention by 100%. Again, all she does is AoE outside of her auto attack, so doing an additional 100% damage is obviously amazing. And then Fan Meeting afflicts the anti-fan mark to the target when attacked. Triggers double team with all living allies if the health of the target with anti-fan is at or less than 30% once every 7 turns. So essentially, there is a 3 turn period when Homegirl does not apply Elder buff on these people. Like, if they get below 30%, they just basically insta die, because everyone on your team is going to be auto attacking into this person the second they hit underneath 30% health, and that person would need to be a massive tank to be able to withstand this amount of damage. So this is insane. Stage dominance and last encore hits all enemies, deals 51% damage to all enemies. In itself, not that crazy, but you're here for the damage over time effects. Poison targets causing 31% damage every turn for 2 turns, which when they're marked, it's actually 62%, which is crazy. And then her last encore, which is 5 mana, deal 178 damage to all enemies. Poison's target causing 62 damage every turn for 4 turns, so which is 124% of damage for 4 turns, and does 178 damage to all enemies. Now, the thing to notice is with the current changes to everything in the meta, 5 mana is really not a lot, especially if you're running like an Iris for that debuff and that cleanse against the other team's Jinai. This is actually insano level of buffing that she just got. I would dare say that Jinai is now the strongest unit when it comes to DPS in the game, and it welcomes back the Dragon Blood meta. You are probably going to be seeing people run 2 to 3 First Guardians, Dragon Bloods, to get that damage over time procs, to where every time they're taking damage, you're taking damage, because that seems to be the only way you can get rid of Jinai at this point, especially if you're running with Jinai a Bathory Ulum type combo. So if you're running something like a Bathory Ulum Iris, and then you have like one other person you could run your Blue Rachel you just got, or a Baraka, someone that synergizes well with Jinai. And so if people are running that against you, maybe like a Dorka or something like that, yeah, it's going to be really hard to burst through Jinai. You're really going to need some signature force to really put this woman down. There is a lot here. She is absolutely broken in my mind. Her and herself is kind of squishy, but with as much defensive steroids as this game has put out there, as much ways to keep people alive has been out there in this game. I think she's broken, guys. This is like rare level of busted, and this is a must-have to the point to where I'm kind of afraid that if you don't get her in these roles, the reroll accounts that they made for new players is specifically for you. I think they know that this person's going to change everything about this game. Jinai's changing everything about the way we perceive this game, and she seems so strong that if you don't get her, they're giving you ways to start all over again. For some of you, that sounds like a good thing. For most of us, that sounds abysmal. Happy rolling. I really hope you get her. Hopefully you think I'm funny in the future, because that hurt. Not really. That was really funny to me that you guys flamed me that hard. Keep it up. Take care, guys.